I've never really been much one to actually care for what I look like. I've never really cared much more for my appearance than, I'd care for absolutely nothing. Appearance has never been to me something that was like on high priority. Obviously, in retrospect, I can see that I was doing things in completely the wrong way because our society is based upon humans, and humans are pretty instinctive, simplistic creatures, and tend to react very much based upon what the way that things seem to be rather than actually the way that things are. Which is, of course, crazy because we're all supposed to have gone through like an educational process which is supposed to have taken up like a quarter or maybe a third of our entire lives, which could have, lay down the foundation for better quality of thinking as we progress into adulthood. It's almost like we leave school, leave college, go into the real world, and then we'd switch our brains off completely. But no, people seem to react much more based upon appearance. Now, I put out an image on Facebook a little while ago. This is actually like the Facebook equivalent of a retweet, if you know what I mean. And it said, if all women started to feel really good about the way that they looked, no matter what, then, how many industries would fall? Which I thought was really quite sweet and really quite meaningful. But then you have a look at the subject of male fashions and male grooming, and you suddenly think, oh my god, this whole thing is not just for women, okay? There's a whole sort of like male vanity, kind of like image impression thing going on as well, which is like a massive industry. And I don't tend to do that much in the way of like clothes shopping. I traditionally would go to a charity shop, just like pick up the basics. And things are changing for me because I'm reaching a time in my life when I'm actually taking a bit more pride in myself and taking a bit more pride in the way in which I look. And I'm completely out of touch with the world of fashion, especially the world of male fashion. I put out a video when I hit the age 35 about buying these cheap trainers, which I bought. And they had eye holes, to put laces in, but they didn't take laces, and apparently that was a fashion at the time, and I didn't know about that, and I made a complete ass of myself, and I took these shoes to the checkout and said, can I have some laces with these shoes? And the lady behind the checkout says, no, because those shoes don't have laces. I says, I can see they don't have laces. I can see that. I can see that. Can I have some laces for those shoes? And she says, no, because those shoes don't have laces. And then it took a customer to inform me that not only did those shoes not have laces, but they were designed to not need laces, but to look like they needed laces, because it was some kind of really like cool thing for young people these days, or those days, sort of like 4 years ago now. So, it was like, seriously, WTF situation. So, like yesterday, I'm going downtown, I'm going to my public speaking club, okay, and I thought to myself, why not actually do some clothes shopping, window shopping maybe, just see what's out there prior to, committing myself in some particular respect to doing something to change the way in which I look and the way in which people, these like sad, stupid, pathetic creatures called humans, will end up perceiving me based upon a thin layer of cloth which is draped over my body in some particular manner which some designer has decided is just right for this society at this time. But in fact, it's just a piece of cloth, and it has no real bearing upon any of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, understandings, and perspectives which goes on inside my mind whatsoever. So I have a look at The Gap, which is supposed to be like the cool, trendy place where all the young people go to buy their really rinky-dink cool threads, or whatever the fuck the phrase is these days. Sorry, I used to watch 1970s TV shows. Okay, I'm part of my brain is still stuck there. I apologize. I also used to watch the Flintstones, but I don't really have any Stone Age technology around me right now, but that will obviously change, or not, as the case may be. So, there's me. I'm going into I think it was River Island, and I'm not kidding you. I saw one shirt there, reduced in price in a sale, which essentially cost the same quantity of money that I would spend on a week's worth of food. And I thought to myself, this is a very thin shirt. It probably wouldn't last all that long. Let me be honest with you. That 1 week's worth of food shopping might actually last longer than that shirt. It might last longer. Okay, and also I got to think about my build. I've got quite a thin body. I've got long, spindly arms. Basically, if I had a thicker layer of fur on my body, I'm sure some person, if they weren't looking closely enough, would mistake me for a spider monkey that's been stretched on a rack. Okay? That's just the way that things are. I'm a tall, lanky, weird, spindly individual, a bit like, the rather emaciated vision of what the god of winter was in pagan times, okay, apart from the fact that I'm not old and I do still have a bit of a belly, okay, just, okay, what am I talking about? Anyway, so I thought to myself, what's going on here, alright? 2 t-shirts could have set me back 80 fucking pounds, alright? 80 pounds. I don't earn much money during my work, okay? But like society is basically giving me this message of like, you must look good. You must look good the way that we tell you to look good. Eh? So, you know, I mean, these were not very good t-shirts, alright? They were like designed to look knackered. The jeans were designed and dyed and coloured to look like they had come from a charity shop. But these were like 40 quid, £40 sterling jeans, alright, that looked like they come from a charity shop and were knackered. They were exhausted. There was colour missing from bits where they should have some colour, alright? But this was like the fashion. If you want trousers that look like they come from a charity shop, why on earth don't you go to a charity shop? Quite simply, why don't you go to a fucking charity shop and pay £2.50, £3.50 on a pair of jeans there? 40 quid, £3.50. Come on! Think about what you could do with the rest of the money. Think about the McDonald's you could buy with it. Think about the courgettes you could buy with it. But no. We've got these like demons in our society telling us that we've got to spend over the odds for something that looks crap. And the only thing that makes the sales experience as well when you go into these shops, I mean, good God. It's designed to somehow look vaguely post-apocalyptical, but also trendy. They've got pop music blaring out of the speakers to try and convince you that you're in some kind of party, and this whole thing is this lively, enjoyable, buzzy, wonderful, fun place. But it's post-apocalyptical. The floor is concrete. There are pillars which are made of concrete and are bare. You can see the air conditioning ducts above you. You can hear the whirring of the fans, and you're underneath this stark fluorescent light, but you've got this buzzy music going, and all these wonderful things which you can have a look at and you can touch and you can experience. But it's just buying clothes which look like they've come straight out of a charity shop and are being sold for more than 10 times the price of what you could buy in a charity shop. It was crazy. Ah, my God. It was a culture shock. It was empty. It was soulless. The only people smiling there were the sales assistants, and I presume that they may have possibly been on commission. I couldn't really tell. And then I tried something else, something that people have been saying, no, don't do it, don't do it. Don't go to Primark. Because Primark is the place where people go for all their really, really cheap crap. Primark is the place where you go to buy things that's made by slave labour in China. And I saw a clothes rack there full of long-sleeve shirts that were not only at Primark prices but were also reduced, and I decided to gorge myself, and I thank God that we had slaves in China that were prepared to make really, really, really cheap crap, and also for a shop that decided to want to get rid of them and to sell them at a reduced rate. So for the price of, what was it, one shirt at the Gap, I got myself a whole week's worth of clothes, 5 shirts and 2 pairs of trousers, and I don't look too bad. Yeah. Reasonably smart. Sort of goes with the age, I suppose. Considering that I'm pushing 40, I don't have to look totally trendy. I don't have to have extra buttons where I don't need there to be buttons, like on the shoulders and all the other weird places where people place buttons on shirts. I don't need to have pockets where you don't need to have pockets. I don't need to have something which looks like a pocket, but in fact is not a pocket, just for show. Yes, because I'm pushing 40, and isn't that wonderful? Isn't that absolutely tremendous? Now I just got to do something about my hair and find out about facial grooming products and try and work out what on earth a man is supposed to do with his eyebrows these days. Dear oh dear.